Alright, so some people have heard me mention it and they're wondering what it is. What is tiny URL? Well, you may remember that a URL is this thing up here that actually tells you where, or tells your computer where to go to find a document. You've got a protocol, a domain, and then the document name. But sometimes document names are they're very long and confusing, and so you couldn't tell a student or a colleague, hey, go to Google docs.google.com doc ID equals, and it would be way too long. They would be confused. And so you need an easier way to do it. And that's where tinyurl.com comes in, or other similar web pages. What you do is you go up and you copy your actual URL. Then you go to this website, and it's the website tinyurl.com. And what happens is you paste in your long URL and you try to give a name. Okay, say for example you want tinyurl.com NISOD, since I'm presenting at NISOD. Now it's possible this isn't going to work because I would assume somebody's already created this link, but I could say go ahead and make my URL. And what happens is, notice that I get a note here that says the custom alias I've chosen is not available. So let me try a different one. Let me try NISOD 2010 and let me make the tiny URL. Ah, now it was created. I was able to create a tiny URL at NISOD 2010. So, what does that mean? Well, instead of giving people that long link, all people have to remember is tiny URL and then whatever tiny name you give them. For example, tomorrow when I'm presenting to you guys, I'm going to talk about tiny URL, and so you can type in tiny URL, and you also know now that I'm talking about NISOD 2010, and when you hit that, that's going to take you back to my original document. Now notice it transferred over to the full URL because the website transferred it from that tiny URL back to the full URL, and that's how your computer knew where to go. But it's great for working with students. For example, I do with my students 1-minute papers. I'll do something called Teach Me, Ask Me, and so my students need just remember I'll say go to tiny URL, Teach Me, Ask Me, and they log in and they can have Google Forms and Google Documents and shared information, and they don't have to remember big long names.